Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jerry Heron. Born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. Currently a resident of Los Angeles, California. I'm coming on here to share a story about my life, a real story, real life story. It deals with issues within my family and the secret occult world that they are into and have been into for generations. I'm going to try to not make it as long because I wrote it all. It's easier for me. It's easier to write it down because I took notes, take very detailed notes. My background is project management. So if you're a project manager, you know we have to take a lot of notes. I'm very good at that. So I took a lot of notes and then I put it into ChatGPT and I created like an AI video. Some of you guys can go watch it or you can go read the whole story on my page. I'm going to try to summarize it as best as I can of everything that went down. So essentially, my entire family, with the exception of one aunt, Bun Bun, conspired to sacrifice me for various reasons. The main reason was based on lies that was told for years. And this wasn't just one lie. This is lies that my sister has been telling to my family for I can't say generations, but at least 10 years. So at least one decade. So lies, I don't know what the various lies are just yet, but I'm sure they will come out in due time. But anyway, that was essentially grounds, I guess, in their eyes of, pushing me out of the family, not reaching out to me, kind of just go kind of thing, just go. And it really caused a great divide, but it didn't matter because all it did was kind of move me into God even more. I depended on God so much more. And God just really changed my life, really helped me understand who I was. I like to say God and or universe. I pray to both because you never really know, but it's definitely God. But God is amazing. Jesus Christ is amazing. He can and will change your life if you decide to, walk the path that he wants for you. Because the stuff that I have been through is no joke. And I don't look like what I've been through either. So to kind of sum it up, the story started, I know I said like I never called my birth mother mom, and I think this is subconsciously why is because like around 15 years ago, I overheard my mom and Edna is her best friend from high school, conversing on the phone like they always do. And they were kind of laughing at the fact that Edna's son, she said that she poisoned her son and sent witchcraft his way. But she didn't say witchcraft. I think she said like root work or something like that. Same difference. His way to essentially get him on the path of greatness because she was trying to make him into a family man because he was in and out of jail. He was just doing bad. So her validation was, I'm doing this because I'm trying to get him on track and, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, well, that's not right. Even at a young age, at that time I was a teenager. So even as a teenager, I knew, that you're not supposed to poison people, especially your own blood. But you're not supposed to do it to anyone. It's quite crazy, actually. So fast forwards, but I kept that memory like tucked in my head, and I'm reading off my notes as well. So, I'm here with you guys, but I'm just making sure I have everything. I take very detailed notes so I won't forget. So fast forward to July 2024, I traveled to Memphis because my friend from high school, Lamarian, was getting married to his baby Dominique. Great people. And I was only supposed to be in town 3 days. Well, I ended up staying 2 whole weeks. 2 whole weeks. The wedding was on, I think, maybe the 20th of July. Somewhere around the 21st or the 22nd, something like that. That's when my mom poisoned me. How do you know that, Jerry? Well, one, my spirit guides told me as it was going on. Excuse me. My spirit guides told me in real time, you know, what was going on, or what her intentions was at that point. But I, for the first time ever, went against my spirit guides, essentially God. I went against God because I had more faith in her than I did in God, essentially, because I was like, nah, she wouldn't do that. And I'll be damned, like days later, you know, I started getting sick, pancreas flared up. I was just, I wasn't throwing up yet, but I was having all these weird symptoms. It was just crazy stuff you would never experience on a day-to-day basis. And for a healthy, I think at that time I was 30. Yeah, for a healthy 30-year-old, just crazy stuff that I was going through. But I persisted anyway. I'm very strong. So, also during that time, you know, Selena was like cooking for me. And she was making food every day, which is something she does not do. For those of you who know that my mom personally, you would know that she is very lazy. And I'm not talking about like everyday people lazy, because we all are lazy in some fashion, but she's like lazy to another level. Like, will not get off the couch to do nothing, especially cook, clean, and serve. Very major red flags when she was doing it. And I joked about it at the time. I was like, oh, you've turned into a housewife now, you know, saying that do you cook for Raymond like this? Because I know she don't. And again, another red flag. And so she was cooking and serving me food every day for like a week, just one whole week. And I was shocked, amazed, and just like, okay, maybe she just changed. Me being foolish, trying to see the good in everybody, of course. Major red flag. So alarm bells was going off. She served me the poison, under the full moon, which was the 21st, I'm pretty sure, of July of last year. And then I flew home on August the 4th, 2024. I flew back home, fasted for 3 days, as I do anytime I get any type of sickness. Because usually my sicknesses, if I do get sick, it's like nothing crazy. It's like a common cold or like a stomach bug that'll be gone in like a day or two, because I know how to get rid of it the natural way. So for me to literally not eat anything for 3 days straight, and on that fourth day, I'm still unable to be well, I knew it would. My suspicions were basically confirmed personally that she had poisoned me, one, and two, it was just more spiritual work, because she had been sending spiritual work. What I mean is, when I say like spiritual work or spell work or root work, I'm talking about the same thing. It's all the same, one and the same. So it's basically witchcraft, spiritual work, spell work, witchcraft, root work, all the same. So I knew it was root work because she's been sending me, root work or spiritual work for years. I just never told them that they were sending it, or that I knew that they were sending it. But I did ask her to stop multiple times. In 2019, I asked her to stop playing in my energy. She didn't listen. 2022, I asked her to stop playing in my energy. She didn't listen. So 2025, essentially, I was done asking you to stop playing in my energy. I'm literally about to show you who I am, what type of ranking I am, what type of man of God I am, and how you are not about to continue to abuse me like you've done so many other family members and some other people. Like, I'll get into that in a second, because that's going to start a whole nother wave of like arguments. But anyway, so I'll continue. So August 4th, I fasted. Also on that day on August 4th, August 4th, I fasted. I couldn't breathe. My entire body started swelling up. And I'll post some pictures because it was horrible. Like, just picture me. I'll stand up. Picture me. Picture me like just bloated. Entire body just swole. Feet swole, stomach swole, legs swole, penis swole. Yes, my penis was swole. Everything was just completely swollen. I could barely breathe. It felt like something was pressing on my lungs. I had nightmares every single night in August and somewhat in September. It was like the first couple weeks in September, but all of August I had nightmares, and that was just the nights I slept. Most nights I didn't sleep, or I would only sleep for like an hour and a half to 2 hours maybe. I couldn't like lay down or anything. I had to like sleep laying like with my with my knees on the floor, and then like me laying on the couch essentially. Or I would go get like some pillow cushions from the bed, and I would like put those on the floor because eventually my knees would start hurting. It was just a whole thing. So I couldn't really sleep. And so that was very painful. And then I had like this like golf ball size tumor like thing in my stomach that just grew. It just came out of nowhere. It was like, it's probably about this big, and it just came out of nowhere. It was like a golf size tumor like thing, and it was just there. And I was just like, okay. What else? So the nightmares, I could barely go to the bathroom, you know, even though it was just a few feet away. I only washed laundry. I wasn't able to walk to the laundry machine because the place where I was at, I rented an Airbnb for like 6 months. Because at that time, guys, I had like $40,000 saved because I was planning on going to Thailand for a whole year. I still went to Thailand, but I only was able to go for 3 months before I ran out of money. But you know, but before that, you know, I still had to stay at this place, Airbnb, for 6 months or 5 months to heal. That's basically where I healed. And it was an ocean view property, so it was like I got a chance to get sun every day. The one time I was finally able to walk to the beach, it was mostly just to get in the salt water, because salt water does help with the cleaning of energy, essentially. So yeah, that's what happened there. Let's see what else I kept having. So yeah, I kept having to go like number 2 several times a day, even though I was barely eating. Which is also weird because sometimes my poop was like white. You guys ever had white poop? It's very weird. So sometimes the poop was white. And again, I threw up for months straight. August, September, October, some of November. I started to heal like early November. It was like a slow heal, but I started to heal early November. But I was throwing up like at least twice a day. So everything I was putting in my body, it was just coming straight out, which I was okay with because I lost a bunch of weight. I'll show you the before and after pictures one day. But I did look at my weight. So before the sickness, I was at 260 pounds. During the sickness, I was at 310 pounds. After the sickness, I was at 220 pounds. Right. So yeah, couldn't do laundry, couldn't shower. I shower like every 3-4 days. And basically when I started to get too stinky, that's when I went ahead and showered. But it was very hard to shower. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like, just imagine like just everything just swollen and you literally not even being able to walk just a few feet to go. So just imagine, and it was tender. So my like body was tender, so I couldn't really like scrub. It was just one of the worst experiences of my life. So alongside that, so let's go back to February 2025. So after the sickness, I started healing in November. Around November 19th, I went on a cruise for a week. Just to see how I would do, because God was telling me, okay, you can go ahead and go to Thailand, but you should go see, you know, if you can make it, essentially, because I noticed my body was finally starting to heal. I honestly didn't think I would ever heal the way my entire body changed. I'll show you some before and after pictures. It was wild. But I did heal, and I went on the cruise, and I didn't throw up on the cruise, luckily. Well, I did once. It was a 7-day cruise. I threw up once. And then I did prepare, like I had motion sickness. I had to have a cane. I had to use the handicap service on the cruise because, again, I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk, and, you know, I couldn't do any long distance because, again, everything was still swollen. So swollen, I couldn't wear my jeans. A lot of stuff I couldn't wear because it just wouldn't fit. But I packed anyway, as if I was, you know, going to Thailand. So by the last day of the cruise, it was like Sunday. I think it was Sunday to Sunday or Saturday to Saturday, something like that. I booked my trip to Thailand. It was like a $500 one-way flight. So I went ahead and went. And by my third week in Thailand, I was fully healed. God had healed me. God had delivered me. And I was praising Jesus. I was like, thank you, God. You know, I did go to the doctor while I was there. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me either. All the tests came back normal other than the fact of my body being completely swollen. And I had lost all this weight. So they were trying to figure out what was wrong. I couldn't go to the doctor in the United States because I couldn't afford to go to the doctor in the United States. And I was like, I'll be damned if I go waste or go get $100,000 in debt just to tell me that there's nothing that they could do, you know, because I was having all type of problems. I was having like, from the poison, it was like problems with my heart. Like I could tell my blood pressure was up. It was just so much stuff. And I'm like, I'm not about to go get in hundreds of $1,000s in debt just to tell me that, oh, you know, there's nothing we could really do, but we could try this. And, you know, I'm not about to go be a guinea pig, essentially. So I did not go to the doctor in America because it's just not worth it. I did look into trying to get insurance, but no. God already told me he was going to heal me. So I was okay with that. So fast forward to February 2025. I was at a crossroads. It was between, you know, joining the military, you know, just to officially not come back to Memphis and stay away from my family forever, or just going back to Memphis to get the proof I essentially need to understand. So proof, now I already had the spiritual proof, right? But I needed to get physical, like, proof for me. And God gave me 7 confirmations, 7 proofs. I call them confirmations. 7 confirmations, and you'll hear them as I go through the story. But so I got my 7 confirmations, and that's when I just let it all explode. I sent it all back because they assumed all the witchcraft they were doing on me since I got back in February 2025 was working, but it wasn't. I let them think it was working, and then I sent it all back once I got my 7th. Well, really my 6th confirmation, but I got my 7 confirmations and I sent it all back. And you'll find out more as we go through this. So the other part of me knew I needed to go back to Memphis and face these people, because if I went to the military, they were just going to keep sending root work my way. It'll just be a revolving cycle of the same thing, just like so many other people in my family that they've done this to. Ding, ding, ding. And not just my family, their families as well, their friends, families, like their children, lives that they've ruined and destiny swap. Yes. So kind of like a little, essentially I decided to go ahead and come back to Memphis and face my bullies. Those are literally my biggest bullies. You know, people who know me know that I'm like a hard ass, but, and I don't take shit from nobody, but my biggest bullies literally was my family. So I was like, I don't really give a fuck anymore, but I'm gonna get my proof, and then I'm gonna face it. So that's what I did essentially. So kind of like a little bit of background about me. I've been very like spiritually inclined since like 2017. No, I'm lying. I've been spiritually inclined since like the age of 12 years old, meaning I've been very aware of my surroundings. And if you know me personally, then you know who I am as an adult. But the people who know me as a child, like my sister Starika, she can validate how I've been kind of the odd bunch. I've never, really fit in with everyone else. I kind of just do my own thing. And then I guess that's kind of what's been the problem the whole time. Excuse me. So yeah, I just kind of do my own thing. So I've been very spiritually aware of my surroundings since age 12, but I knew to keep it a secret because, peep this, I had a cousin named Devon who's also spiritually inclined at a young age, but they made his go away. So I knew to keep my mouth shut. So all of mine wouldn't like kind of, be I guess dismantled or whatever. I guess that's the best word for it. So fast forward to 2017, my awareness grew even sharper. There was a significant event that happened in 2017, a few months actually before I graduated from undergrad. And I'm not going to share that event just yet But it was a very spiritual event that changed my life forever. But I never shared that with anyone. No one knew. Also, God told me not to share it with anyone. But the spiritual event changed my life forever, and it opened me up essentially to be aware of things going on in my life, and like how this world really works. Essentially, it just woke me up. I guess it was kind of like it seemed like it was something that happened on purpose to wake me up, like something, not to say that God orchestrated, but it was like something that needed to happen essentially. So I can choose my path if I want to go and do what those demons do, or follow the path of God essentially. So I prayed to Lord Jesus for guidance, and my angels told me exactly what to do, meaning I decided to go back home and face my biggest bullies in my life. So when I got home, I faked it for months, as I mentioned, so they stay relaxed, so they can, be chill. I just faked it. I'm still a very loving person. I lead with love, genuinity, compassion, still genuine love that I gave them, but I faked it in terms of, I didn't let them know everything that I knew, essentially, right? Because I knew I would be starting a war, spiritual war. So I got home, did all that. I had already did a return to sender of the black magic that they sent me, the death magic, essentially. And Jesus told me to watch out for the people who were starting to get sick with the same symptoms. Sure enough, I learned from my mom multiple times between February and April, multiple times, that Edna was sick. There was some type of golf ball size something in her stomach, and they don't know where it came from, and it was just, it just showed up out of nowhere. In my mind, I didn't say anything then, because that was just another confirmation. By that time, that was like my maybe fourth confirmation. And I was like, okay. All that told me was that Edna was the one who paid the, I call it witch doctor. Edna was the one who paid the witch doctor to perform the services, and my mom paid Edna. For you future people out there, if you do a return to sender for something like that, look out for the people who get sick. They're the ones who paid. Keep that. Putting y'all on some game. So, so Edna was sick with the same type of tumor-like thing in her stomach, and that came out of literally nowhere. So that was confirmation for me. And then on May 30th, 2025, between 11 and 3 a.m., I picked up my sister Brittany. Well, really before May 30th, I'll say that. May 30th was a Friday, 2025. I do a lot of things in numerology, and that was a 3-day. But I think on that Tuesday, God whispered to me, he was like, this Friday, talk to your sister. I didn't even know I was hanging out with my sister on Friday. Just so happened that everything fell into place exactly how it was supposed to fall into place. I knew it was a 3-day, but I didn't know I was hanging out with my sister. All I knew was, I should go ahead and get my final confirmation this Friday from my sister, Brittany. Final confirmation that my mom had poisoned me. So May 30th, 2025, 11 to 3 a.m., I picked up my sister, Brittany, took her for some water slide inflatable. I took Brittany to look for water slide inflatables for the kids, but really I had another mission. I planned to get my sixth and final confirmation about how my mother poisoned me and kept saying root work my way for years. Spell work to cripple my independence, spell work to cripple my finances, spell work to cripple my peace of mind, etc., etc. And for those of you in the community world, in the spiritual world, who know exactly what I'm talking about, you're going to resonate a lot with the story and exactly everything that I said, or everything that I'm saying right now. So essentially, my sister was thrown off guard by the question, exactly what I wanted, because you guys don't know my sister, but she's basically just like, she may be like, I think she's 36 years old, but she's essentially just a little kid. She's a little kid with children. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's those grown people who have children, but they don't want to do nothing in life. They refuse to grow up. That's what I mean. So she's a little kid. So I knew I was throwing her off because they also, give you a background, the family don't like to have real conversations. Okay? I'm very direct, real person. I will confront you. whether you like it or not, they hate that. So that's another reason why I've always been kind of the outcast, because I speak my mind. I don't care who you are. I will put old people in their place. I am that guy. Okay. So, so my sister Brittany was thrown off guard by the question and started to justify why Edna did it. Trying to justify why Edna did it. I told her we all have free will, and that was not her job to interfere with God's plan, because it's not. It's no one's job to interfere with God's plan, even your children. It's not your job. It's not your job. I also explained how every time someone plays with individuals' free will, they are directly messing with their own free will. And that's facts. I'm going to say it again. Every time you fuck with somebody's free will, you are fucking with your own free will. I hope you guys hear me. Okay, where was I? Where'd it go? Yeah. I also explained how every time someone plays with, I said that. I said that's karmic universal law, which it is. It's universal karmic law. And for you guys kind of still lost on everything I'm saying, go get on chatgpt.com and go look up everything I'm saying. This will help you understand. ChatGPT.com is just an AI service and it's free, okay? It will explain everything I'm saying. It'll break it down for you in detail, okay? Very detailed. You got this. All right. So moving on from there, I told her it was karmic law. You can't be fucking around with people's free will. I casually asked Brittany if Selena was still doing stuff behind the scenes. Ding, ding, ding. She said, "What do you mean?" So I baited her. I told her how Edna once paid a witch doctor to get her son on track, and how I have real women in my life who keep it real with me about spiritual gifts we all have, and how some women abuse those gifts against men. Shout out to my friend Noelle. I love you. Thank you for keeping it real. Also know that some family members are in local cults. We're not going to get into that. They're already trying to kill me. They're going to actually send physical people to probably do it. Let them have their cults. But it's true. A lot of family members are in local cults. So of course, Brittany took the bait, which is what I wanted. She ran back to Selena and spilled everything. That's exactly what I wanted to see, how Selena would react. By the next day, June 1st, Selena was acting very weird. 3 times within the same hour. Literally within the same hour. It probably wasn't even in the same 40 minutes. She said, she randomly told me that Edna was coming over to watch G20 on Prime. Okay. I'm like, okay. But she said it 3 times. I'm like, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, bring the bitch over. I'm not scared of her. Bring her over. Because again, I knew all of this was planned by God, all right? It was planned by God. So I was prepared to go to war because I knew I would win. All of this was already predestined. So I was prepared to go to war. And I was just like, in my mind, this is my freedom on the line. I'm willing to fight for my freedom, and I hope you guys are too. Don't let nobody try to dictate your freedom or who you are in this world, okay? Everyone has free will. You can do whatever you want in this world. Good or bad. It's your choice. Remember that. So I was like, in my mind, and I was like, just, I just said, okay. But I'm like, bring the bitch over. I'm definitely not scared. This is my freedom on the line. It's worth fighting for because I know my destiny is bright. Of course, I'm still trying to be respectful because at the end of the day, I was raised to respect people. So I'm not saying all this hurtful stuff like bring the bitch over and you're a bitch, you're a hoe, because I'm still trying to be respectful. You're my mom at the end of the day. No matter how much disappointed I am in you, I still respect you. I have to respect you. Also, I'm living in your house right now, just how you want it. So later that day, Selena was scrambling mentally. I knew because when I told her to go live on social media, she actually did it with no argument. So first, she don't do nothing without no argument. But she did it with no argument. I'm very surprised. She went live to start making rotel dip, something she never do, okay? Making food online. Shock. So it was all a ploy to make me happy. But by that point, I had already had my 6th confirmation. I knew for certain that my own mother had poisoned me, and she is an evil person because this has been going on for a long time. She's an evil person on one hand, but on the other hand, on the other hand, I know that she's been blessed by God before, right? She has witnessed God before. God has made miracles in her life before. A story that she may not get a chance to tell you is that she owed the IRS like $7 grand back like 20 years ago. And she asked God for a miracle. 2 weeks later, she won $10,000 at the casino. Anyway, but I also know she's an evil person, but I also know she knows God, and she knows that what she's doing is not right. And also that, from what I saw, she has an entity attached to her, like a demonic entity. I saw it because I saw it shapeshift. And for those of you in the spiritual community, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was like a shapeshift. I saw it when I got back in February, you know. But I also know that it was her friends and family manipulating her. And when I say family, I mean like the matriarchs of our family. If you don't know my family, look up the Motens. M-O-T-E-N. The Moten family. So the Moten family. So I told her that I still love her when I left. So I just left like a few days ago. Out of nowhere. No one knew where I was moving. Because you got to move in silence. Move in silence. And I told her I'll be waiting for her in 7 years if she so chooses to walk the path with God. And I truly do hope she chooses to walk the path with God. Even if she have to, I wrote her a long text. I was like, where's my phone? Oh, this is the phone. I was just like, even if you have to walk this path alone, it's so worth it. It's so worth it to be at peace. Like, guys, you don't know how great it feels to like spiritually be at peace. Like, yeah, fleshly, I'm pissed off that my entire family came against me, but I know that they are stuck in this matrix and they're like, essentially, they're hiding. Not hiding, but they're like, they have blinders on. They can't see, you know? So they're stuck in this matrix. And I said, you know, I'll be waiting for you in 7 years if you so choose to walk this path with God. Because God told me to come back, not come back, but essentially follow up in 7 years to see if she's ready to, you know, be with God again. And I hope she decides to go down this path of the dark night of the soul, because that's exactly what she's experiencing right now. When all that root work and all that witchcraft and spell work I sent back started dismantling people, we'll talk about that in a second. So June 4th, 9:49 a.m. Central Standard Time, Selena called me from work to confront me about what I've been saying. I asked her, are you sure you want to do this? Again, I asked her, are you sure you want to do this? Because the family, they don't like to talk about nothing real. Me, on the other hand, I'm real. Real. Cutthroat, ruthless, raw. I want the real shit. I don't care how much you hurt. I want it real. Okay? I asked this because, again, family don't like to talk about anything real. They are not direct people like me, but she said, yeah. So I laid out part of what I knew. I told her Edna was sick with something in her stomach. Also told her that I know that she has been sending spell work my way for years. So then swore up and down that she believes in God and would never do such things. But I was like, are you crazy? Also, she has a bad memory. I was like, are you crazy? Weeks ago, you just told me Edna had a golf ball size thing stuck in her stomach and they didn't know where it came from. Now suddenly she's saying it's been there for years. I laughed and shook my head. I just laughed and shook my head. Then she started raising her voice and getting all excited, yelling at me. No. That was when she came home the next day. So we'll get to that in a second. So I just laughed and shook my head and I was just like, this conversation's over because you don't even want to tell the truth at this point. And probably never will. But we'll see. We'll see if she's ready to walk this path with God. We'll see, guys. And then in my mind, I'm just like, if you weren't so lazy, this was after I hung up, I was like, this conversation's over. I was like, in my mind, you know, just me kind of taking my notes, because I wrote down the notes for all interactions, all conversations. I was just like, if she weren't so fucking lazy, maybe her lies would stick. They probably would stick, but I know how lazy you are. So your laziness isn't matching up to your actions at all. And I'm just like, you trying to save face is not about to work. Just stop. Just please stop. And I was like, it didn't even bother. I didn't bother saying that out loud, of course, because again, still respecting my mom, because I know she's stuck in this matrix. And I hope this has awakened her and she's going to go down another path now. Hopefully. So I was just like, it's pointless trying to convince a narcissist they're wrong, essentially. She also lied to my face during that, she also lied to my face and said I quit my job. I laughed at that also because I'm just like, okay, May 2024, I sent you $2,000 via Zelle. I'll post that too. And on August 4th, the day I flew back to LA, I sent you $500. After I knew you poisoned me, I still sent you money. I knew you've been sending work, spell work, witchcraft my way for years. I still gave you love, led with love. Help you find a house, help you do this, help you do this. I still led with love because it's all about God. God told me what to do. You know, for years, I wanted to send spell work back. And God said no. For years. For years. God said no. So I never did. All to get to this moment right here. So yeah, I sent her money, you know, May 2024, $2,000 via Zelle. And on August 4th, I sent her that $500 while I was at the airport, literally boarding the flight. $500. Just as a thank you. Great seeing you. You know, thanks for taking care of me for 2 weeks. Thanks for poisoning me. Yeah. Why would someone who quit their job send you money? Oh, wait. Not only send you money, why would somebody who quit their job send you that much money? My point exactly. She also spread that same lie to my Star sister. Star is my sister on my dad's side. So still, it's like, you know, some people say half sister. Still my sister. I love her, you know. She told my sister Star that I quit my job as well. I told Star, why the fuck, excuse my language, why the fuck would I quit a job making 12 grand, not 12 grand, almost 12 grand a month. It was like 11 and some change. Why would I quit my job making almost 12 grand a month? And I have bank statements to prove. Bank of America, shout out to you. Why would I do that? It makes no sense. Only an idiot, only a pure idiot would do that, bro. Pure idiot would do that. Now, later in August, after I got back and I was literally too sick to do anything, I did lose that job. It was the first job I ever got fired from in life. First job ever got fired from. Bro, I was so heartbroken to get fired from a job making that much money. You know how hard I've worked to make that much money? You know how hard it is for, this is the flesh talking now, because it's like spiritually I'm at peace with it, but the flesh is like, you know how hard it is for black people to get those type of jobs and maintain those type of jobs? You know how many interviews you have to go through to get those type of jobs? I was pissed. Bro. So, yeah, I got fired from my first job ever at 30 years old, 2024. And it was mainly because, only because I was too fucking sick to work. Going back to everything I mentioned, how was I going to work with, I'm throwing up twice a day. Everything I eat, I'm shitting literally 6 to 8 times a day. And I'm not joking. I'm pooping out all type of weird black stuff, all type of weird white stuff. My body was going through like I don't even know what to call it. Not even being able to think for a couple months. Like, it was just crazy. They also allegedly told people that I'm not well and I'm crazy. Which you can see now I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not, I promise. But hey, I'm willing to go get checked. You want to pay for it? Go ahead. Let's go get checked. But I want you to get checked too. So I'm not the one with the mental illness here. With that being said, I wrote a bunch of stuff in here about how only a crazy person represents some court. I have represented myself in court twice, and both times I won. The most recent time I won $10K. This was within the past like 3 years. So I'm very good at court because at one point I was going to become a judge. Okay, I'm very sharp, very sharp. I was going to become a judge for a reason. Okay, so it's just more lies, bro. It's lies on top of lies on top of lies. Just narcissists and their lies. But I was also going to say, like, if they really knew me, they would know that I'm walking karma. Like, I've been in corporate America for 7 years now, and I brought justice to individuals that were preyed on in corporate America, women and men. There's been many instances where I've stepped in and helped people who were going through stuff, who were going through stuff that they shouldn't have been going through, from other human beings just being shitty human beings. And I'm not even joking, like at every single role I have been in corporate America, I have brought some type of justice to individuals. I'm walking karma, but they didn't find that out until this year, in the past 30 days. So on June 5th, around 1 a.m., I come downstairs and Selena was still awake, playing a video game on her phone, even though she had to be up for work in a few hours. When I say a few hours, I mean like 4:30 a.m. That's a worried mind, wouldn't you say? June 6th, 2025. I had another conversation where she accused me of lying. She said I didn't know what I was talking about and claimed I was disrespectful. I was just speaking the truth casually, but she didn't want to hear it. She also mentioned that I was about to start a war. 7 confirmation. When she said you about to start a war, that was the 7th confirmation. Your own mama tell you, you tell her all of the truth. And she keeps trying to deflect. And then finally, her mask fall off just a little bit and say, you're about to start a war. Bet. I didn't respond. Of course, I still want to be respectful. I'm just a respectful guy overall. But if you push me over the edge, you're going to wake a different side of me up. I guess you didn't expect me to, like, I don't know, protect myself or stand up for myself, which is just horrible. I shouldn't have to do that with my own family. But hey, this is where we are today. Where was I at? So she said you were about to start a war. That was another confirmation. My 7th confirmation. In my mind, of course, I didn't say it out loud. In my mind, I was like, bitch, you and your sisters, with the exception of Bun and daughter started this war. Y'all be damn sure to finish it though. Let's go. So we've essentially been at war since June 6th. I'm doing fine. God is on my side. I'm doing very fine. But let's understand what they are doing. What's wrong with everyone else? Right. So, mind y'all, I was living in her house this whole time. I was paying $500 a month for food out of pocket, which is exactly what they wanted. It's more of they like people to be dependent on them essentially, so they can say, oh, when you make it, you know, you help me reach my next level. Or it's just classic manipulation and narcissism. But I played along, you know, while all of it unfolded. I played a long game. Play along. So on July 11th, between 3 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Selena came home wanting to talk about what happened on June 6th. She kept lying and saying none of it ever happened. She started yelling about money because I sometimes help her pay for bills. She demanded to know where I had spent $300 on credit card. I told her it was to pay back money she'd spent while out of town, which it was. She went out of town with her girlfriends, the Coven people. They went to Branson, Missouri, like a week or two prior. So I was just returning the money that you had already spent. So all in all, and then I told her my Prophetic Seer side was coming out, and I was just like, you know, Brittany, your daughter is going to need you even more now than later. She's very lazy, which she is, just like her. They're one and the same, mother and daughter. And I said that, you know, she doesn't want to do the work to be a better human, and you don't either, apparently. Anyway, fast forward on between June 16th and June 20th, weird shit started happening around the house. Again, keep in mind, guys, we're at war at this point. Again, this is not a physical war. It's a spiritual war. We're at spiritual war, and I am winning. I've won. Weird shit started happening around the house. The refrigerator started making loud noises that went on for hours. I mean, extremely loud, went on for hours. Smoke alarms kept randomly going off throughout the day, at night especially. Where am I? Yeah, smoke alarms are going off randomly throughout the day, even after changing the batteries. Her boyfriend Raymond sitting outside for hours because he didn't want to go in the house until Selena got home. I guess he felt the energy too, and he just didn't want to be around it. Me and Selena, we barely spoke. It was just like a simple hi every day where we would talk about business, meaning if someone was coming to, inspect the house or something like that, I would be available to do that type stuff. So June 27th, the day before my birthday, Edna sent a $270 down payment, Cash App, at 9:44 a.m. to pay the practitioner whose goal was to kill me to prove their spiritual ranking. I know this because God had told me a few days prior that they were planning to start making payments to the spiritual practitioner to do whatever they can to stop me. It didn't work. Even they didn't want the smoke, the practitioner. And from what I heard, I think the practitioner has already passed, but y'all tell me, do your research. I did, let me see. So yeah, she sent the $270 down payment, Cash App, 9:44 a.m. to pay the practitioner. She sent it to Edna to pay the practitioner, whose goal was to kill me to prove their spiritual ranking. They messed with the chosen one. God said, touch not my anointed one. That night, I felt someone trying to mess with my energy, but they lost, of course. A few days later, the practitioner turned the money down and refused. A few days later, the practitioner turned the money down and refunded $200 of the $270. Even they didn't want the karma attached to what my family was trying to do. On my birthday, June 28th, I wanted some strawberry cake and ice cream since I was basically alone for my birthday, which I'm okay with. I'm used to it at this point. I wanted some cake and ice cream. I love strawberry cake. So I went to Walmart, got me some strawberry cake. By the way, their strawberry cake is fire. Strawberry cake with some cookies and cream ice cream, gold. Key to my heart is some strawberry cake, just FYI. But don't make me none, because I'm probably not gonna eat it. Trust issues now. I know y'all understand. So I suddenly felt, so when I got to Walmart, I suddenly felt something heavy on my heart out of nowhere. It was like my heart started beating really fast, like a heart attack was trying to creep up. Very weird. Again, I'm all healed, very healthy now. No problems, not even like high blood pressure. I'm good now. But it felt like a heart attack. And I asked Lord Jesus for protection, and I sent the energy back where it originated. 3 minutes later, I felt fine. It wasn't even 3 minutes. It was maybe like a minute and a half, maybe like 2 minutes. But it was very short. I was still in Walmart when all this happened. So July 4th, everything in the house was breaking down. More shit happening, okay? The air conditioning went out multiple times. The air people came out 5 times to replace I think it's called an air condenser. And on the 5th time, the guy was like, I don't know what's wrong. The condenser broke 5 times. I just told him, I was like, bro, we're fighting. This is a spiritual war. God ain't gonna let that air conditioning be fixed. Now, we did, I was staying upstairs. There's a window unit upstairs. I was good personally. Downstairs, I went around the corner and bought I went on Facebook actually and bought one of them big portable air conditioners, one that stands by itself and you stick the hose out the window. I went and bought one of those for the living room to kind of cool down the living room because I do chill down there sometimes. So yeah, but air went out multiple times. Air condenser went out. I think that's what it's called. Air condenser went out like 5 times, and I'm not joking. It came out 5 different times to replace the same thing, and it kept going out. And I'm just like, bro, God ain't gonna let it get fixed, okay? I just kept it real with him. I'm sure he appreciated it. So the sofa broke and had to be held up with pots and pans. It still broke. The house almost caught fire from the combustion of the AC unit outside. Yes. It was quite a lot of supernatural. It was a lot of supernatural events happening. If you think about these events and then the events prior with the alarm and the refrigerator and all this just other weird stuff happening, just a lot of stuff happening that shouldn't be happening. Okay. Again, for those of you who are tapped in and who are awoke, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's see everything. So I forgot to say, so this was July 4th. Prior to this, like pretty much when I started war, like the week after I started the war with them, the spiritual war with them on June 6th. I think maybe like a week or two after that, my cousin Abby got back in the hospital. We'll get to that in a second. So on July 11th, I found out Abby is still in the hospital. The cousin they tried to destiny swap me with. Again, excuse me. If you don't know what destiny swap is, go Google it. Or go to ChatGPT, type it in, it's free, and it'll give you everything you need to know about destiny swap. People do this in the occult world, okay? This is a real thing. This is a real thing that they've been doing for years. Hello? Years. To a lot of other people other than just me. Anyway, so I found out she was back in the hospital. Well, she was still in the hospital. The cousin, this is, again, okay, I'll start over. On July 11th, I found out that Abby, the cousin they tried to destiny swap me with to save her life, is, still in the hospital. Critical care, ICU, something like that. It's bad. Plus, Michelle, who's part of my mom's friend group, is connected to the Eastern Star group. Suddenly needed surgery, and her mother Barbara is also in the hospital unexpectedly. Also Eastern Star people. They're all connected to the coven. They have their own coven. It's a network. They both unfriended me on Facebook. And their daughter. I forgot the other girl. I'm not gonna say her whole name, but I'll say Naki. She deleted me off Facebook too. Anyway, where we at? So yeah, they all unfriended me on Facebook. Meanwhile, Edna's still sick. Again, this is July 11th, so think about that time. What's worse is that all of these individuals are sick, had a major hand in altering their children's lives and destinies. All of these people who are sick had a major play in altering their children's lives and destiny. So all of those, what do we call our mom's friends, our cousins? All those cousins who felt like life is just shit and they can't never do nothing good. Every time they try, they just get set back. It wasn't you guys. It wasn't you. I'm letting you know right now, it wasn't you. And I'll explain it more if you guys want to talk separately. All three of them are sitting at Baptist Memorial in Memphis, all at the same time. All three. When I say all three, Michelle, Barbara, and Abby, all at the same hospital at the same time. And I think they're still there. I know Abby's still there. I know Barbara's still there. I'm not sure about Michelle. I will keep you all updated as individuals are preparing to leave this earthly realm for all the bad karma they produce. A few people are about to die. I'll keep you updated though. This did not just happen to me. It happened to my brothers, cousins, and a few other males, or really all the males in my family and select females in my family. A lot of the females in my family aren't really aware that it happened to them. I'll name one, Tam. She don't even know that it happened to her, or that they had a play in her not going to tour with Legacy. You think it was your free will. You have no clue. You have no clue. Also, okay, yeah. So yeah, I said that this did not just happen to me. It happened to my brother, cousins, and all the other males and select females in my family. Very smart individuals who have engineering degrees, work for Boeing, work for NASA, have aeronautical degrees, these very big degrees, but they're stuck. For example, Uncle Jr., James Moulton Jr. How do you go from working at Boeing, having a whole engineering degree, to working security? And they're going to say, oh, he's crazy. He do drugs. I'm here to let you all know that it's all a lie. Sure, he did do drugs, but what led him to do drugs? I did drugs too. I did hard drugs in college to cope with all of the abuse that I went through for years. Again, this has been going on for over 2 decades for me. I did hard drugs in college. I'm gonna do them now, of course. I may smoke a little weed every now and again, but in college, between 2013 and 2017, actually 2014 and 2017, hard drugs. Okay? Okay. How the fuck you go from working at Boeing as an engineer to working a security job? Make it make sense. Same with my other cousin, Derek. Fuck, you got an aeronautical degree, but you stuck here in Memphis. Make it make sense. Anyway, so all these degrees, all these smart people, but they were always prevented from truly succeeding in life despite the capabilities to get anything achieved. They were all forced through witchcraft to be complacent and were held back at every opportunity to succeed. This has been going on for over 2 decades personally for me, as I mentioned. I think it's been going on longer, but as far as I can remember, 2 decades. And it gets so much worse. What I'm telling you guys, this is only like 30% of what I was shown. Basically, how people say when you die, God gives you kind of a life review of everything you've done in your life? I got that last year, actually. But it wasn't of my life. It was everything that my family had done. All the secrets, all the lies, all the treacherous people that everything. Why God won't let your music career take off. Why he's not going to bless you. Yeah. Why y'all want to be seen as such a great, mighty, powerful family, but y'all all are just, in my opinion, mentally unstable for the stuff y'all have done. So yeah, they were all forced through witchcraft to be complacent and were held back at every opportunity to succeed. This has been going on for over 2 decades personally for me, but so much longer for other people. So much longer. And a lot of them don't even know what's going on, bro. That's the thing. God gave me discernment. God gave me the sight to see. Everything I talk about come true. Everything I dream about come true. Although the people they hurt, they have left this earthly realm, may not get physical justice, they will get spiritual justice. That's why I came back, to get justice, not only for me, but for the people who have left this earth, who won't get physical justice, but they will get karma. They will get karmic justice. And that's exactly what these people are going through right now. All of this that's going on right now, me even just explaining this, all of this was based on lies and deception that my sister Brittany told to the family for over a decade to drive a wedge between all of us. Now fast forward to present day, my family is now learning that I'm a prophetic seer. I am a prophetic seer. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Put it in ChatGPT. For God, I'm a prophetic seer for God, and they would like to silence me because I know too much about the family secrets, and could easily and could drastically ruin the Moulton name. Well, I'm here to say, as ordained by God himself, and you guys, you ruined the family name. You ruined the Moulton name by doing all these evil deeds for decades. You thought you was getting away with it. No, God sent me in to dismantle all of you. You will bow before God before all of this is over. And you're going to have to explain everything that you did. And a lot of y'all are going to have to repeat this life all over again. I'm at peace. I'm done with it. Again, I didn't even want to make this video. God basically told me I had to make it to help people. I don't want to make this, putting my family, putting myself on blast for the world to see. Who wants to do that? Nobody. But I follow. I follow. I do what I'm told by God, no other person. So yeah, my story closely relates to Joseph in the Bible. Just for some of y'all who may not be aware, if you don't know the story of Joseph in the Bible, look it up. Look it up. Actually, you should just copy all of this and put it into ChatGPT and tell it to give you a summary and give you details, or just look it up. Stop being lazy. A lot of y'all are lazy in life. Stop being lazy. Look this stuff up. Do the work. Do the work to be a better human. Yeah, like I said, although I didn't want to share my trauma with the world, God said it will help deliver many souls from darkness. This will help turn their trauma into power with the help of the Lord Jesus. So essentially, God showed me that my path, or my purpose in life, is to help people turn their trauma into power through God. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm just following what I'm supposed to be doing, helping people go to God. Okay? So I just want to say I love you guys. God loves you. And keep walking in the light. Keep walking in the light, children of God. We're all children of God. Every knee shall bow to God. Okay? This is no joke. Thank you again for letting me share my truth. Thank you again for letting me share my story. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. I'll touch base soon about some of the other stuff, like, insurance policies that was purchased, people who are going to benefit, like joining secret organizations so their career could take off. Like, you have no idea. I know that there's been some type of theft involved. I haven't got the full details yet. Theft that my family did, but I haven't got the whole details yet, but I'll keep you updated. Thank you again. I love you guys. Out.